Salaki, the video was cut off, but it says on the banks of Mississippi, a sulfurous stench hits the back of the throat near Elon Musk's Colossus, the largest artificial intelligence supercomputer in the world, right? It says housed in a warehouse guarded by CCTV cameras and imposing fence. It says with a row of Tesla Cybertrucks parked outside. Colossus is named after a 1970 dystopian film about computers that seize control of the United States nuclear codes and enslaves humanity. Now, I mean, come on, bro. What Esau wants is he wants all humans to render, whether willfully or not willfully, to render their control over their own bodies, mind, and soul unto Esau for him to use at his own expense in his own leisure, because humanity doesn't know how to keep peace or doesn't know how to cooperate properly. So Esau knows what's best for us, and that's part of the reason why we need to take these chips. But it's not a coincidence that they name these things after these films, because that's truth in plain sight. That's truth hidden in plain sight. Esau will give you the message and will tell you what's about to happen before it happens. And it's not a coincidence that Elon named it that, because that is truly the plan. It says inside hundreds of thousands of processing units, the systems used to power AI are wearing away on neatly stacked shelves to produce Grok, a chatbot which Musk hopes will soon overtake ChatGPT as the most advanced large language model, right? Now, this is important because the computation that it takes for all of the probabilities to come up anytime you ask Grok a question and how fast it computes is all important, because you got to understand, and I always say this, that logical data, so when you go on Twitter, when you're using Grok, when you're asking Grok questions and so on and so forth, when you use these interfaces or this software has to be stored somewhere logically, number one, and number two, physically. So this super house that they're creating that looks much like this, because this is what a data center looks like, the computations, I can only imagine, because for you to process all of that, you need high level RAM, you need high level CPUs, which are central processing units, you need a good motherboard, you need fans, you need good GPUs, which are graphic cards, and even in some of the knowledge that I have, some of these servers, they take a lot of power. They generate a lot of power. And not only do they generate a lot of power, but they generate a lot of radiative power. Because you got to understand, radio frequency energy is utilized for these devices for the basic functionality. Like your phone runs off radio frequency. Anytime you use Apple Pay, that is radio frequency. So that means that there's some level of radiation emitting off of these devices. So just imagine your iPhone, you can say 17 now, running off 5G, or what they're trying to do is make 6G, but running off 5G 24 hours of the day, and at times, I'll say like 3 million iPhones in one concentrated area, running 24 hours of the day and working at warp speed. That's going to emit a high level of radiation. Not only that, electromagnetic energy. And this is just not good for the human. Okay? And it says inside hundreds of thousands of processing units, the systems used to power AI are wearing away on a neatly stacked shelf to produce Grok. Right? It says a chat box which Musk hopes will soon overtake ChatGPT as the most advanced large language model. Early versions of Grok have had troubling issues parroting racist language from social media and praising Adolf Hitler. and, and the thing is, these computers, no matter how much you try to put these computations, you make them subjective. They got a mind of its own, and that's what you see in practically all of these like dystopian movies that have robots taking over. Is that it shows that robots kind of have a mind of their own because the Heavenly Father, there's a spirit in these servers, man. It says the chat box successes include the creation of an anime-style girlfriend named Annie or Ani, designed to chat to lonely men. This world needs to be destroyed. When completed, Colossus will require 1.1 gigawatts of power, about 40% of 40% of the energy consumption of Memphis on an average summer's day. It will pump 1 million gallons of water, equivalent to a 1.5 Olympic-sized swimming pools, to cool its processors each day. Yes, and the thing is, when machinery processes, especially when it pertains to servers, it needs cooling. It needs cooling. That's practically one of the most important aspects of these data centers for the data to be processed. So these not power supplies, excuse me, these CPUs, or central processing units, which essentially is the smarts, is the brain of the computer, they overheat because they're being worked. There's electricity hitting that CPU that's sending signals in a 10010 fashion that will spit out answers and spit out an output whenever you give it an input. Okay, but the functionality of how fast it spits out an output all depends on the other components that I named from before. But all of these things are terrible for a human to be in constant contact with. Okay. And that's part of the reason why, I was making this video, because this video is really important regarding, a couple of things. Where are we? Excuse me. 1 second. Hosea chapter 4. There's Hosea chapter 4, verse 1. It says, hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel. The Lord Yahweh hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of the Heavenly Father in the land, right? So they refer to all of these technological advances to give them pomp and to truly be their Lord. Because opposed to asking the Lord, what's the weather forecast going to be, all they need to do, or I say, opposed to asking the Heavenly Father of what's going to happen in the future, they're going to AI and going to Grok to administer answers. Okay. It says, by swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out, and blood toucheth blood. Verse 3, it says, therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwell therein shall languish with the beasts of the field and with the fowls of heaven. Yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away. Okay. Now also, I wanted to go to real quick. It's Mark chapter 13, verse 20. It says, and except that the Lord has shortened those days, no flesh should be saved. And this is also another kind of like a sign to show us where we are as far as prophecy, because the Heavenly Father is shortening the days, but within the shortening of the days, there's going to be technological advances for them to be able to, and them being Esau, Edom, to perform part of their enterprise. Okay. And it's funny because the more they work on these infrastructures, these AI infrastructures, the more it's going to be set up for them. They're digging a pit for their own selves at this point. You know, so it says, but sake, for the elect's sake, whom the Heavenly Father have chosen, he have shortened those days. Okay, so the Heavenly Father's essentially allowing them to advance their technology in order for us to see him quicker. In other words, but Esau Edom's going to continue to destroy the earth, and these developments are going to continue to destroy humanity. But we know Yahweh Shah HaMashiach is going to come to deliver us. But I thought this was really informal, and I did want to just bring out this article, just off the strength of the relevance of it. That the more you see Grok and all these other AI super intelligent platforms being utilized, just know that there has to be a place that this place is held, or that this platform or software is being held, and that it's just truly bringing more detrimental, it's creating more of a detrimental environment for America, because you got to think about the waste that comes from this too. You're going to have radioactive waste, electromagnetic waste, and it has to go somewhere, right? Best believe they're going to try to throw that in a nigga's neighborhood, But with that, I give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shema Shabbat Shem Kokadash and Yikabat. Go well of the Kabs, the Koyin of Aith, Shalom, Barakum, Labakar, and Shia Shalom. Until next time, I'll keep my say Shalom.